Everybody should snatch those up. If you want to go, I might take you.
Am I there? Are we live?
Is that a new thing?
Oh, hi everybody. I'm Brian. Ann will be here in a minute. She's shooing away some dogs so they don't disturb us while we're trying to relax. Let's just start in seated. So we'll find ourselves sitting, I don't know, sitting up nice and comfortably. You can, whatever is a comfortable seated posture for you. And we'll just do a few rounds of prana mudra to just sort of get some flow into the breath and stuff like that in the body. So we'll take our arms out wide. We'll inhale and reach up. Exhale, push the hands down. And you can move the back as well with this. So as you inhale and reach up, maybe you arch the back. As you exhale, maybe you round the back. Just breathing deep all the way down into the belly. And then we'll come back to seated. What do you want to do while we stand up?
Yeah, let's get standing. I'm inspired by Cynthia's request for a vinyasa flow style practice. So I think maybe we'll have a little bit of just up today because it's beautiful, it's warm, and I definitely know that I need it. So of course, as always, we'll stand up and bounce and do all of our shaking because it is so good for us and I can't get enough of it. So why not? There we go. Now I'm on screen. Oh, the ground's a little wetter than I thought it was going to be. And then from here, feel free to allow yourself to twist a little as you shake. Feet can come about mat width distance or 2 feet apart from each other. That's totally fine. And we're just going to twist and shake a little bit, just shaking out any tension that might be here, residual from our day. These days, I'm not as tense as I usually am, but there still are things that sit in the body, little worries or frustrations. Now's our time to just let that stuff shake off of us like water after a shower. And then from here, if you want, you can stop thinking but keep twisting. Really trying to keep the hips facing forward as you twist here. And what we're going to do is bring this into a more formalized twist where the arms come up to chest height as if we're skimming water. We're inhaling right, exhaling left, making the sound shh as we do this. So inhale right, exhale shh, like that. Shh. 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 And the great thing about this is that we get to warm up our spine a little bit before we actually use it in an effort to build strength in the body. So whenever you're ready, feel free to turn the arms up, and the goalpost arms will continue the same kind of breathing. Inhaling right, exhaling left, making the sound shh on the exhale. Shh. 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 If you get dizzy, just kind of cast your eyes down a little as you do this. And last, we'll turn our arms down as if we're manually turning a hula hoop. Same kind of breathing. Inhaling right, exhaling shh, to the left. Shh. 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 And then you can just kind of unwind it. If you want to shake it off as you unwind again, that's fine. Grounding back into the body. Sometimes that can make me a little dizzy, so the shaking always seems to take me down. And then from here, because this is a 45-minute class, we don't want to waste any time. Let's come up to the front of our mat. Feet can be about, I'd say hips width distance. So maybe about, 8 to 10 inches. We'll inhale the arms up, looking up towards the sky if you're practicing outside. Exhale, arms come wide and we fold forward. And let's just hang out here in our forward fold for just a second. You can experiment with where your hands are. You can bend the knees and have your hands resting on your shins or on the ground. And then from here, feel free to just lean forward and back a little bit in your feet. So sometimes the weight comes to the toes, sometimes the weight comes to the heels. And you'll find different points of stretch through the back of the legs. They just want to do yoga with us.
They're not threatening.
No, they're good dogs. They're just very loud. So when you're ready, we'll plant the hands next to the feet, bend the knees, and walk one leg back and then the other. From here, let's hang out in plank a second. If you want to lower your knees and do half plank, that's totally fine. Otherwise, here we are in plank. The cool thing about plank is it's a very simple posture that is very intense and builds a lot of muscular strength. But the main thing here is to keep the heart shining open and the shoulders coming down towards the tail, and then tuck through the abdomen so that the tail tucks down just a little bit here. You keep a nice long body. When you're ready, we'll all bring our knees down on an exhale, and then exhale fully, chest, chin coming down all the way in chaturanga, elbows glued to our sides. Inhaling, letting the hips come down, coming up in the cobra, the heart shining forward. This is all you know. Whatever's next.
And then we're gonna exhale and come into downward facing dog. So raising through the hips. So let's bend our knees really deeply. Roll the shoulders down the back. Lengthen the spine, and then you can, if you feel like it, you can pedal through one foot, you can pedal through the other foot. You can push both feet back and kind of flatten the feet on the earth, whatever you like. Then we're going to look up at the hands, and it's your choice. You can walk, jump, step, float, whatever you want to do to come into forward fold at the top of the mat. Exhale, relax the head down. On inhale, we're going to come all the way up the stand. You can reach the arms up wide to the side as you come up. Feel free to keep the knees bent as you come up. And palms touch overhead. Exhale, palms to heart center. Let's do, I don't know, a couple more of those, maybe, right? Oh no. We'll inhale and reach. Exhale, fold. Let's bring the feet, let's step the feet back to plank. Take an inhale here. And on an exhale, your choice, you can come down either knees, chest, chin, or you can exhale and just come down with a flat body. Either way, we're going to keep the elbows hugging in close to the body as we come down. Then we're going to inhale, peel up into cobra or even upward facing dog. The difference is that the legs come up off the ground with upward facing dog. With cobra, the hips stay on the earth. So whatever you're doing. And then let's roll over the toes, exhale. Come into downward facing dog. And then we'll look up at our hands. And again, you can, your choice, walk, jump, step, float, whatever you want to do to get to forward fold at the top of the mat.
Perfect.
Exhale, bend forward, relax your head down.
And then from here, unless you have other stuff, I'll take us somewhere if you like.
Go for it.
So we'll inhale into a flat back for just a second. So the hands come up to the calves, or the shins, I should say, and we just kind of lengthen through the spine, tucking the chin just a little bit here, maybe even leaning forward in our feet a bit. And then exhale, fold forward again. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale all the way back up to standing, arms high above the head. Exhale, hands come to prayer, rest in front of our chest. Again, we're going to shake it off and loosen up through the body before continuing back into vinyasa style practice. So feet can come a little wider here, and I'm going to start sort of figure eighting my hips, bringing one hip forward and then the other, just because the cool thing about sun salutations is they use the body as a physical pump to pump lymph, amongst other things, through the body, energy, all of that. As you inhale, you always come up. As you exhale, you always come down. There's a science to it, which is really great. But the one thing that's hard about it is it can build a rigidity in the body that we want to make sure it isn't too rigid. So that's why we allow ourselves to kind of flow like this. So if it feels easy for you to do a backstroke as you're doing these hip rolls, feel free. Even if you're doing something that looks absolutely nothing like what I am doing, that's okay. Because the idea here is that I'll show from the back. I just have a line down my back. My spine is going back and forth and almost like an S shape. That's the important part. It's just keeping that flexibility and mobility within the spine. So when you're ready, we'll just shake it off and we'll take that the other way. And for me personally, it's easier to get in the other way from doing my hands like I'm swimming. But if you want to do it with the hips first, like we did for the first side, it's drawing the hip back and then forward, and then drawing the other hip back and then forward. You guys are doing great. And then if you want to add in a little swimming, we're just kind of loosening up the spine like this before we return to a more formalized practice. We're all like looking over our shoulders like they'll be back. When are those dogs gonna run back? They just want to play. They just want to do yoga. So when you're ready, we'll just shake it all off and bark. Yes, maybe they want to chant mantras. So again, I've been jonesing for a little bit of a more kind of traditional vinyasa practice. So I'm glad that you asked for that. We will start again at the top of the mat. And this time we're going to add a little bit into the sun salutation. So when you're ready, we'll inhale the arms up high above the head. Exhale, folding forward, swan diving forward. If you like, knees can be bent here. Inhale, coming up halfway to a flat back, just to see what that feels like, lengthening through the spine. And then exhale, folding forward, stepping back into your plank or plank with knees down. And your choice, you can do hips or knees, chest, and chin again, or you can do chaturanga, which is just a board coming straight forward like this, bringing my elbows to 90-degree angles right against my body as I exhale all the way down. So when you're ready, we'll inhale up into cobra. Feel free to stay here a second. So we'll just breathe in this cobra. Inhaling deeply, exhale completely, and it can be low if you like. It doesn't have to be your highest cobra. And then on your next inhale, let's look over our right shoulder towards our right foot. You can even open your feet out a little bit wider than the mat here. So just looking over that right shoulder. On your next exhale, we'll come back to center. On your next inhale, we'll look over the left shoulder. And on your next exhale, coming back to center. From here, we'll exhale all the way down. And then inhale, coming through tabletop. We'll lift the hips up, downward facing dog. A great long stretch for the spine and the back of the legs. And the strength in there for the arms, the shoulders, the quads, the everything. So feel free to bend your knees here if you like, coming up on the tiptoes, and then lifting your hips towards the sky. Exhale the knees back down towards, or the heels back down towards the back of the mat. And work on straightening maybe one leg and then the other. And then from here, let's inhale our right leg up, just hip height. So my hips are about even here. My right leg is kind of parallel to the ground. And then I'm going to exhale, drawing the knee in towards the chest and step the right foot in between the hands. Left foot, the heel is up. I'm going to bring the heel down and turn the left feet, or the left foot, my only one, out towards the left at sort of like a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to walk my right foot a little towards the right so that I can come right up into warrior one. With this warrior one, what can I say about this? What would you say about this warrior one? Maybe you could take your left arm forward a little bit just to make sure the left hip is coming forward and you're not coming into warrior one like this, but the hips are facing in the same direction.
Yeah, that's all I would say. Hips
That's
facing both parallel and forward. If it's opening this way, swing it over a little bit more.
From here, get a nice strong stance in your warrior one. We're going to bring our arms down by our sides, and you guys might recognize what I see or what I'm about to show. You'll see what I mean. Thumbs can come into palms, 4 fingers curve around the thumbs. We're going to inhale, What was that look about?
Oh.
We'll inhale the arms up high above the head. Exhale the arms forward. We'll get a little wrist exercise here while also doing this somewhat challenging stance. From here, let's just place the hands on either side of the front foot. We'll bring the back heel up so that you're standing on your toes again with the left foot. We'll bring the front foot back to the left. And your choice here, you can either do a vinyasa, which is a chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, or you can just come right back to downward facing dog. That's fine too. Either way, when we're all here, and no hurry at all for that. So when we're all here, let's inhale the left leg up about hip height. And we're going to do the same thing where we exhale that left knee forward, stepping the left foot in between the hands. The right foot, you're still on the toes. So we're going to turn the right foot out a little bit and bring the right heel down. Again, inhaling the arms up above us, coming into warrior one. Let's make sure that our hips are kind of at a good placement with each other, that they aren't out like this, too far back the other way, but just facing the same direction. So you can bring your right arm down to be sure that right arm comes back up. Wonderful posture. Good enough. And then the arms can come out into a T. We'll hold the thumbs into the palms, fingers wrap around the thumbs. And again, rotation. This time from the elbow. First in one direction for just a little bit. And then when you're ready, lifting through the hips as you do this, lifting through the heart and not through the shoulders. We'll go the other way. And then you can shake the arms off here, bring the hands on either side of the foot, come back to the toes of the right foot. We'll bring the left foot back to meet the right. And again, your choice, you can vinyasa your way through this or just come right back to downward facing dog again. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to do standing. Is there anything else you want to do standing? Sure, let's do it. That sounds good. I think we should come down. So when you're ready, let's bring our knees to the mat and let's come on down.
Yeah.
All the way
to
child's pose or shavasana on your belly is fine too. Whatever is most comfortable for you for a little rest. But just a little rest because, you know, we also want to do some core stuff. I think that might sneak its way in here. So when you're ready, we'll come back up to seated. You can bring your hips off to one side, bringing the feet off to another, and taking them right in front of you. I'm like all over the place. I've got so many ideas of what I want to do. I don't know where to start. So if you have a blanket and you like to practice with a blanket, feel free to put this blanket just behind you so that you can rest your shoulders on it, but not your head. Otherwise, if you do not have a blanket, it doesn't matter. We're all going to come down to our backs with our knees bent and the soles of our feet on the ground. First, arms can come out into a T, and let's just let the knees rock side to side for a second, loosening up the low back, particularly the quadratus lumborum, that's the muscle in the low back. And we'll do a little bit of stuff for the core before getting into our inversions. So from here, it's your choice how intense you want to make this. You can bring the knees up into the chest and hold above the knees and just rotate the ankles like this. So if that feels like the right idea for you, go for it. Otherwise, we're going to draw the knees and the thighs and the calves and everything into these two right angles, a right angle at my hip, a right angle at my knees, and drawing the knees together and also rotating through the ankles here. So drawing little circles with my toes. If you really want to make this a very energetic thing, and everybody should switch directions now whenever you're ready, feel free to hold up the head gently with the hands, but really we're using our lower abdomen here to hold the head up. So small, medium, large, your choice. They're all good sizes, all suited to different needs. And then when you're ready, we'll come back down, bring the knees towards the chest, And we'll just rock side to side for just a second. And then from here, again, your choice as to how intense you want to make this. If you want to have it be fairly gentle, I say this time hold behind the knees, bring the knees towards the chest, and then rotate the whole foot. Otherwise, feel free to bring the legs into those two right angles again, draw the knees together and rotate again the whole foot. So we're rotating from our knees here. Or you can even hold your head up using your abdomen, but also possibly supporting with the hands. So whenever you're ready, let's switch directions, take the rotations the other way. Breathing deep the whole time. And then we'll draw the knees in towards the chest. This time, letting the hands rest on top of the knees. Let's rotate the knees in a circle in one direction. And then maybe in the other direction. And this is our last little core thing before we get into our inversions. So this time it's your choice as to whether you keep your head attached to the ground like this or you bring your head up using the abdominal muscles, not the neck muscles. You can support with the hands a little bit. From here, I'm going to draw the knees into my chest, bring them out wide, take them down and around and back up again. So I'm drawing circles on the sky with my knees. First in one direction. And then when you're ready, we'll switch directions, going the other way. Breathing deep. And then from here, we'll just bring everything back to the mat. You can draw the knees towards the chest and again, rock side to side. Or if you're comfortable doing this, you can put your hands behind your knees and rock forward and back a little bit. Getting your spine ready for shoulder stand, or if you prefer, headstand. I'll demo shoulder stand.
Or legs up if you prefer.
Or legs up. I'm going to show that too. That's an option as well. I'll demo shoulder stand. Brian can demo headstand. Does that sound good?
Sure.
All right. So again, small, medium, large, extra large. There's so many choices for every need. If you're thinking today the best inversion is to lay here with the legs up, great. If you have a wall nearby and you'd like to have legs up the wall, great. If you have a block nearby or a folded up blanket, you can lift the hips a little, place the block under the hips, and then let the hips come back down on the block, using the block to help you hold your legs up. Great. That is a perfectly acceptable inversion for today. So that's one option. The next option, which is why I have my blanket here under my shoulders, is half shoulder stand, where I come up some. It's like, and the way I came up here, I used a little momentum, but I'm really lifting from the abdominal muscles. So I'm coming up a little, propping with my hands under my hips. And then I'm actually going to kind of walk my shoulders down my back so that my hips are held, like my hands are kind of cupping around the hip bones or the iliosacral crest. Those are those knobby bones on the side of our hips. And my legs are kind of coming out over my head in sort of a 90-degree angle. So this is half shoulder stand. And this is a really great option, particularly if you're feeling daunted by full shoulder stand, which looks like this. My hands walk a little further towards my shoulder blades. My legs come straight up. If you're practicing this shoulder stand, please don't look left or right. Just keep your eyes on your toes because it's very easy to injure your neck. So at this point, I'm really just drawing everything upward here, which is great. I've got a wonderful view of birds over my head. It's very lovely. So whichever shoulder stand takes your pleasure, by all means enjoy it. Otherwise, there is also headstand, which Brian will show.
And so if you want to do a headstand, the way I like to do it, I like to measure off. I'm going to do traditional style. So I measure off my elbows positioning by being able to grab both of them, then let my hands go, interlace the fingers. You can put the crown of your head on the mat and put the back of your head into this little basket you're creating with your hand. Come up into this sort of position like this. You can walk your feet closer to the body, and then you should be able to just, you can even experiment with just picking up one leg at a time and sort of distributing the weight over the head. And if it's comfortable for you, you can roll up into an egg sort of a shape. And then from there, you can straighten the hips. From there, straighten the knees. Hang out in your headstand. Keep breathing.
If you're in shoulder stand at this point, you might want to change your pace. And if that's the case, feel free to let the feet come out over the head and just see what that feels like. Still supporting your hips until, if possible, the feet touch the ground behind your head. If that is the case, you can let go of your hips, interlace your fingers, drawing your shoulder blades together, and we'll hang out here for a second and plow. And if plow is comfortable for you and you want to go further, you can bend your knees, letting them rest on either side of your head for ear pressure pose. So just enjoy that for a second.
And if you're in a headstand, feel free to hang out as long as you want. When you do come down, we're going to take child's pose as our counter posture to headstand. Shoulder standers, and we'll show you a different counter
Yes,
posture.
shoulder standers, you're probably ready to get out of this by now. I'm sure I am. So I'm going to let my spine roll down vertebra by vertebra. At first, my legs are over me. I can support my hips if need be. And then as my hips come down towards the mat and my legs stick straight up like I'm in legs up, I'm just going to let them come down slowly as if they're made out of feathers, which of course they are not, but you know, we can pretend. So it's almost Halloween. I can have feather legs. So when you're ready and you're done with shoulder stand, feel free to just rest on your back for a second while the headstanders rest in child's pose. And then if you're in child's pose, feel free to find a way onto your back so that you're also in Shavasana. We're going to do a couple more postures and then probably call it a day because I have a feeling it's close to 6:15. So will you demo fish?
Fish.
Yeah. Fish.
All right, so
Fish
from our backs, legs
and
come together, and we're gonna bring up palms on flat onto the mat, but directly underneath of us with the thumbs touching like this. So you could maybe might have to scoop one hip off and then the other. So it's kind of like your hands are under your butt. The the thumbs touch, palms face the floor, legs are together. We're gonna inhale, come up onto the elbows. So it's like we're looking at our feet, and then we're with this elevation that we've created in the upper body, we're gonna just let the head tilt back towards the mat while we keep opening across the chest in the heart area. Breathe deep. And when you're ready to come out of it, you'll inhale to come up, look at the feet, and then exhale, roll down all the way onto the mat.
And then from here, you can release your hands. We got just a couple more things before making our way into a comfortable Shavasana. So feel free to bend both knees again, bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. And let's take the right ankle and cross it over the left knee. So it's like I'm making a figure 4 with my legs. I'm going to lift up my left leg so it's mostly straight up. It can be bent. And then I'm going to reach my hands through this number 4 under my right shin and grab the back of my left leg and bend my left knee, drawing my right ankle towards my chest. So that's that right ankle on top of the left knee coming in towards my chest here. And then to get a deeper stretch in the back of that right hamstring, if you're looking for that, we can take our right hand out. So still holding that left hand towards the chest, drawing that left knee towards the chest, right ankle comes towards the chest. Let's put the right hand on the inside of the right knee and just gently push the right knee away from your chest as you draw the right ankle towards the chest. So a fairly deep stretch and pigeon on your back. And then from here, we can let the left foot come to the mat. We can uncross the legs, let the right foot come to the mat, and just gently let the knees rock side to side for just a second. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side, crossing the left ankle over the right knee, straightening out the right leg as much as is comfortable here, interlacing the hands behind the right knee, bending the right knee, drawing the right knee as well as the left ankle towards the chest. This is what I really feel today. And then from here, this is when you know you went for a bike ride earlier today. Then from here, we can keep our right hand behind our right knee and take our left hand out and press the inside of the left knee gently to draw that right knee in towards the chest while the left knee pushes away from it. So stretching through the back of the left hamstring. Then from here, we'll bring the sole of the right foot to the mat. We'll bring the sole of the left foot to the mat. Let's lift the knees towards the hips for just a second and just bump the hips a little bit to the right. So that might mean lifting the hips a little bit and laying them down to the right. From here, with the knees in at the chest, let's let the knees fall to the left and then open up our right arm towards the right, open the left arm towards the left so the arms come out in a big letter T, and you can look over your right shoulder for a spinal twist. The important part here is keeping that right shoulder on the ground. If the left knee is coming up off the ground, that's okay. Also, you can rest the left knee on a block if you like. Breathing deep. Then when you're ready, we'll come back onto our backs, knees up at our chest again. You can even out your hips on the mat, and then we'll lift the hips a little and bump them off to the left, just the smallest bit. And we'll let our knees rock off to the right. Left arm comes straight out from the left shoulder. Right arm comes straight out from the right. Make sure to keep the left shoulder tracking down towards the ground as you gaze over towards the left knee. Then when you're ready, draw the knees back up again. We got one last posture for you, happy baby. So from here, let's draw the knees open, and then the soles of the feet stand on the sky or the ceiling, wherever you're practicing. And you can either grab the outside of the feet or the inside of the feet, or you can take your peace fingers and put them between the big toe and the second toe and use the yoga toe grip, gripping around that toe. Draw the feet down, draw the knees down towards the ground. Let the heels come up towards the sky or the ceiling, bending at the elbows. Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. And then when you're ready, let's all put our hands on the outside of our feet, draw the soles of the feet together, and then push away from the hips and away from the ground with the knees. So we're coming into a bound angle posture on our back. And then we'll draw the knees together again in towards the chest, just rocking them side to side one last time. And then if you have any other movements you want to do before Shavasana, feel free to do them, even if that means moving to put on socks or a sweater or cover up with a blanket, whatever you got. Now is the time to prepare for a comfortable rest. So make it comfortable. No need to suffer. So when you're comfortable, feel free to take the feet out about 2 feet apart from each other, maybe a little over a half meter. Arms can come out by your sides, palm face up. We'll tuck the chin just a little bit, tuck the tail just a little bit. Lift through the heart and tuck the shoulders together a little bit, letting the heart come back down. If you're wearing glasses, feel free to take them off and put them somewhere safe nearby where you know you're not going to roll over on them. It does happen. And just let your breathing become natural, softening the corners of your eyes, softening the corners of your mouth, softening the corners of your thoughts. Allow yourself to let the beneficial effects of this practice just soak right in.
So when you're ready, you can start to bring your awareness back to your body. You can deepen your breath. You can move the toes and fingers. You turn your head side to side. So we're going to get really long on the mat. So we'll bring our legs together, press out through the feet, interlace the fingers, send the palms of the hands away from the crown of the head. Inhale as you stretch really long down your whole body. And then you can bring the knees into the chest. You can hug everything in. Feel free to rock if you need to. We're going to eventually make our way up to seated. So however you like to get there, you can work your way up, take your time. And when we get to seated, you can feel free to press your palms together at heart center. And if you feel like joining us in an Om, you can feel free. We'll take a deep inhale. Thanks for coming today. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
A poll will be coming soon via email to figure out what time we'll move this class to once we pass daylight savings time and things get more indoors. So keep an eye on your email. Things will be happening. And we have a YouTube channel for folks who can't practice in real time. So thank you much. I'm Ann. That's Brian. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm really excited.